Well, let's start organizing this project, 25 shots, and we'll walk through using Adobe a little bit. I have my master folder, and I have the footage that, like you, I've already shot. So I want to open 2014, open September, and I have made a project folder for this. My capture scratch disk folder, which is where I'm going to store my media. And these are camera files, and I'm going to use my direct camera files folder. So I'm just going to drag that folder right there. And now all my shots are in my master folder system. Let's back out of this. We'll keep going. And I think that's it. So I now have my master folder. I'm going to go down to my Windows icon in the corner and go to All Programs and click Adobe, and I want to open Adobe Production Premium CS6. And the program we're going to be using is called Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. So let's open that. I left that a bit off my screen so that I could give you a little better resolution with this. So clearly it's a new project. And the first thing we want to do is give it a name. And so I'm going to call this 25 shot library. You can call it whatever you would like to. Actually, it would help me to put my name in there because there's going to be a lot of 25 shot library projects in a minute. And this is really key. I need to pick where I want to save the project folder. Well, I want to put it in my master folder system. So let's browse. Let's get to our desktop and Dave Boardman master folder. Double click 2014, 2014-09. Here's where my project's going to be stashed. And here's where my project files will be. So I'll select that folder. So now Adobe is going to put the Adobe Premiere project in that folder. Dave Boardman, master folder, 2014, right down the line to the project files. It's also helpful for me so that I know where things are going to be. Scratch disks are important but not critical in this one. In this case, the captured video is going to go to the same as the project. Now, captured video, what Adobe means by that is if Adobe were to plug in, if I was to plug in a camera and turn it on and record directly to this computer, Adobe would store the video in that project file. I'm going to browse, and I want to put it in my master folder system again, 2014-09, 25 shots. I want to put it here in my direct camera files. Okay? And I actually won't put it in that folder there. I might have another folder. Okay. So now my audio is going to be, actually I'd like my audio to be with that as well. So I'm already here, capture scratch disk, direct camera files. I'll select that as well. Video previews and audio previews will be in the same place as the project. And I can see where that is. So everything's good to go. Let's say OK. And I now get another window. And this is asking me what kind of video settings do I want. Well, I didn't really look at this camera to see exactly how it was set up. I know it wasn't set up this way. This is pretty old school. Okay, this is like square video. And I may not know the exact settings. So what I don't want to do is pick the wrong thing here. So I'm going to cancel this. This is asking me everything from how many frames per second was shot, how big was it, all kinds of really complex things that we're not going to deal with right now. So I want to cancel that. Let's make my window a little smaller. Here we go. I haven't used this program on this computer yet, so it is going to be a little slow perhaps. Let's make things a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. Okay. We'll even fill our window here. So this is what the interface looks like for Adobe Premiere Pro. It's not too exciting, but here's how things work. Your clips are all going to show up in here. You're going to assemble your clips over here in the timeline. All right, put your clips together, edit them, the whole thing. You're going to mess with your clips up here. You'll be doing some editing and picking how long clips will be over here. And here's where your final program or your final edited clips are going to appear. Let me walk you through this. One of the first things we're going to do is find our clips. So let's go ahead to the media browser. And this looks slightly scary, but there's really no worry. Find your computer, and C drive is almost always the computer hard drive. Scroll down, find your users. Now there's only been a couple users on my computer, so I'm going to go to me. I know that file, my master folder system, is on my desktop. And I'm trying to keep things pretty neat, so I have two potential files. And I think that it is, let's see. It's this one, not my copy. So I'm going to double click that. 2014, 09, 25 shots. And I put my video in here, capture scratch disk. And I put it in my direct camera folder. Now, all my video is right in here, but I want to import this because Premiere is not like actually holding anything right now. So I want to get this footage in. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say import. And you'll see it takes just a second. It's finding all my files and bringing them in, and it's going to make them part of this project. Now they're here, so let's go over to the project folder itself. And now I see my folder. I'm going to double click this. I have 21 items, and they show up in a bin. Well, whoever shot this did a great job because I've got some really cool variety. Nice. Oh gosh, I look too stern. Maybe I'm smiling somewhere. Mail truck, all kinds of stuff. So I can go through and I can click one and I can do what's called scrubbing. I can drag this little playhead across and I can see just what's going on in that clip. That's kind of nice. Here's one with, I think it's David from the afternoon class, kind of scoping things out here. And I can figure out exactly what I'm going to do with all these. So let's look at this one of me. I'm just kind of striking a pose for someone, a few things going on. Well, let's go ahead and say, we'll pick this clip to start with. I can move my bin out of the way. And I'm going to double click this clip. So let me move my bin. I'll just drag it down. So now I have a clip, and I have this is called a playhead. And I can drag it across, and I know I need 10 seconds, right? Well, this was shot at 10:10, so I need to trim just a little bit. Here's what you should know about time with this stuff. This is frames, okay? 25. Now we shot 30 frames per second, so when it gets to 30, it should change, okay? So frames are these little, there are 30 frames every second. So when I get to 30, that was 1 second. These are seconds, these are minutes, and these are hours. Okay, so it's hours, minutes, seconds, frames. So I need 10 seconds. Well, I don't know where I want to start it, but I'm not going to start it right here because nothing's happening. I think I'll start it right as the car comes in. And I have a couple things I can do. I can put an endpoint this way, or I can push the letter I. And I've now just created an endpoint. I can drag my playhead across, and now I'm going to get to 10 seconds, and I think I'm just about there. Perfect. Well, now I want to out point, so I could either push this to mark the out point, or I'll just push an O for out. I love shortcuts. Well, this is going to go in my timeline, but I don't have a timeline yet, so I can't like drag it in there. I can't do anything with this. So I'm going to go back to my bin for a quick second, and I want to make a timeline. Now I can use any clip I just shot, but I'm going to use this one because it's easier. I just simply right-click. Whoops, sorry, let me do that again. And I find new sequence from clip. Let's move the bin out of the way. Now it's made a new sequence, but it hasn't really made it from the edited part. You can see, or maybe this case it has. Not quite. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to drag my edited clip in place. So now I have my edited clip. It's actually a little under 10 seconds, isn't it? So it means I actually edited this a little too much, and I'm going to just change that so that I get a 10-second clip. And I think I have it right there. So let me delete that. I'm going to drag this in again. And gosh, I'm still off. I want to try this one more time. And it's okay, I'll show you another way of doing it. I'm going to make my clip a little longer up here. That's actually helpful because you can see both ways. So let's pop it in. Hopefully I'm over 10 seconds. Oh, I am. Okay. So let's just take a look at this. Now I can do what I've been doing, which is scrubbing. Or I can play. And I can play by pushing this. I can also push the space bar. So you see our seconds are counting up, our frames. And gosh, we never quite fully get there. Let's drag this out a little bit. And you know what? We're going to pretend that I'm at 10 seconds. And I think I actually made it this time. I'm at 10 exactly. Okay? So now that's my first clip. And there's nothing too much I really want to do with this right now. This is pretty basic editing. I could, if I wanted to, move it around. And if I wanted to, I could add another clip to this. Let's open my project bin. Whoops, I lost my bin. And let's take a look at this one. And let's imagine I just wanted, like, I don't know, just a little bit of time out of this clip. And I could drag this in. Okay, so now I have two clips. I can move them together. I can move one behind the other. Let me show you one trick. If it's hard to grab one, just push the plus key. And you'll see how I just made them bigger. I just changed the scale. Okay. I can drag them both together. All kinds of things. I'm going to separate them a little bit. And that is really basic, getting your project together and starting to trim. Okay? So we're going to do roughly 25 shots, and we're going to start in and start the process. This usually saves automatically, but I am going to save it just in case. And you'll see I can just look up here to see where exactly my project is. The hard drive, users, D. Boardman, my desktop, my master folder, 2014-09, the project folder itself, it's in the project files, and my shot library is the title of it. Okay, and this will be 25 shots. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. This is really basic, just starting out sort of stuff. All right. Good luck, and let me know if you have a question.